Hey folks, welcome to another great Light of the Southwest right here in GLC Studios. What can I say about today's guest? She's a longtime GLC favorite, incredible person. She's made history, in my opinion, the epitome of the American dream, you know, from a bomb shelter in Lebanon to the White House, the United States, creating the largest grassroots organization, political organization in America, Hat for America. What else can I say, folks? New York Times best-selling author and honestly the best speaker I've ever heard. Brigitte Gabriel, how you doing?
Thank you. So happy to be here.
Well, it's good. And you know what? It's easy to do these intros.
I love this.
When it's true.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
And
And here I am in Texas. I love Texas. You know, I learned English watching Dallas. Did you know that? Okay, so I was raised in a bomb shelter. People tell me, how did you learn English? You speak English so well. Well, when I was living in a bomb shelter, we had a black and white television operated on a car battery. So after my father would watch the news, if there was any charge in the battery left, I would watch Dallas on Wednesday night and The Love Boat on Friday.
Wow.
So when two people would look into each other's eyes and, you know, somebody would ask a question and the other person would say, maybe, I would write the subtitles, what maybe meant, on my arm with ink. And because we barely had water to drink, let alone shower, I built a huge vocabulary on my arm. And that's how I learned English, watching Dallas.
Watching Dallas, wow.
So that's why Texas has a very, very special place in my heart.
Well, you love Texas. Texas loves you.
Yeah.
And y'all, yeah. You also love Texas steak as well.
Yes,
Yeah.
I do. I
Yeah.
do. You know, it's like I tell people all the time when I travel and I speak around the country, and I love to use Texas as an example. I tell people Texas is not a geographical location. Texas is an attitude. They have attitude.
You better believe
And
it.
I always believed America's salvation will come from Texas because I tell you, Texans are strong.
Yeah.
They're assertive.
Right.
They know what they want. They're unapologetically patriotic.
Right.
They let you know how they feel. They're very hospitable. So they have the old-fashioned way of life where neighbors love their neighbors and treat their neighbors nice and, you know, wave at each other and smile and, oh, bless you, and all that good stuff. And at the same time, don't mess with Texas.
Don't mess with Texas.
Don't mess with Texas. You don't want to cross them.
No. And you know, Texas, you know, when they say, oh, bless your heart, you know, they're sincere in blessing your heart, but sometimes that means bless your little heart. You know, you need to understand how it needs to be. Am I right, folks? We love our studio audience, and we love you watching today. You know what, Brigitte, you're starting the Brigitte Gabriel show here at GLC and abroad. I was blown away with your speech last night. I mean, I've known you for years. You're a friend, a dear friend. You've always been known for being an incredible, dynamic speaker. But you know what? It's like every time I hear you, it's like the first time. And last night, a chapter of Act for America had a meeting, and I tell you what, I was so inspired. Folks, there's hope. But in addition to giving hope to voters that love our country,
Yes.
you also, in your show, you're just as strong as a motivational person because of your incredible story. And we're actually going to have a call-in a little later related to Act for America. But you know, Brigitte, so happy to have you. Texas loves you. We love you.
Thank
GLC is honored to have you.
Thank you.
And
You
we
know
take
what?
today on the show, too. It's fantastic.
Yeah. And you know what? I love coming here and and taping in Texas, you know. And finally coming to GLC. I love GLC. I love the GLC family. I am so proud to be a part of the GLC family. You know, I remember doing some of my first interviews here in the studio.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, my gosh, way back when my first book came out, Because
Right.
They Hate. But what I love about Texas is how everybody's always joyful. They've got the joy of the Lord in their heart. They're joyful.
Yeah.
So when you talk to people and they really smile from the heart, they are not fake, they smile from the heart, they welcome you in. And I love being around positive people. Like you said, you know, you heard me, you know, you heard my story, you heard me talk about my story. I have an appreciation for life because I know how fragile life is. I know how you can lose everything like that. I mean, look at 9/11 in America. I mean, you know, the World Trade Center. Look at all the companies that were wiped at the World Trade Center, like that.
Wow.
So I appreciate joyfulness. I appreciate people standing up and smiling. That's why I always try to be positive. And that's what I wanted to do with my show, the Brigitte Gabriel show, because everybody hears me talking politics. I'm on Fox, on Newsmax, on OAN, I'm on Steve Bannon's War Room, you name it. I mean, all the big shows, all the conservative shows. Right. You know, people follow me on Twitter. They hear the Truth Social now, President Trump's social media. So they hear where I stand politically and how strong I am as a patriot who fights for this country. But every single one of us has another side. As strong as I am in my patriotism to defend and secure America, I'm as strong talking about embracing life, enjoying life. Do not let your past bleed all over your future. Because a lot of people who go through heartache, a lot of people who go through trauma, hardship, and we all do. I mean, you not necessarily need to be raised in a war, survive a war in Ukraine or in Lebanon, in Beirut, but we all go through trials. We all go through challenges. We all go through our own tragedies, whether with abusive parents, whether with, you know, a spouse leaving, whether with being fired from a job.
Right.
You know, your trial is as huge to you as any other trial is huge to somebody else. So a part of me wants to encourage people because I am a survivor. I'm not a victim. Life handed me lemon and I made it into lemonade. And with my show, I hope to inspire people, to empower people, to lift people's spirit to say, look, there is no excuse for you moping around. There is no excuse for sadness. You smile, the whole world smiles with you. So pick yourself up, have the joy in the Lord in your heart, trust in your Creator. He's got a path for you, and move forward.
Praise the Lord and pass us also. Come on. Well, you know, you're known for your passion, but a lot of people need to understand your passion comes from tragedy to triumph here in America.
Yeah.
You know what a loss of freedom is.
Right.
Most people don't know that Lebanon
Right.
was a very westernized country.
Lebanon was Paris of the Middle East.
Right.
Lebanon was the banking capital of the Middle East, and we did not have any oil. In 1965, National Geographic magazine had on its front cover, Lebanon, Eden of the Middle East. So the country prospered. We were majority Christians. We were open-minded. We were fair. We were tolerant. We were multicultural. Most Lebanese are fluent in 3 languages.
Wow.
You know, so it's very highly educated society. We had more university per capita than anywhere in the Middle East. Anywhere in the Middle East. All that changed. So I understand how we can lose our freedom when we don't pay attention to the writing on the wall. You know, things don't change overnight. You know, things happen in incremental steps. But most people don't pay attention to the incremental steps. It's like a business. They say an overnight success takes 20 years. Whether you're a personality, you're a famous singer,
Right.
famous actor, business owner, people don't see, if you're an actor, how many actors spent nights sleeping in their cars,
Oh, yeah.
parked on the side of the road because they couldn't even afford rent at a motel,
Right.
you know, before they became mega millionaires earning $20 million a picture,
Right.
you know. So everybody has to pay their dues. But what separates people is tenacity. There are those who give up so easy, and there are those who fight as hard as they can to achieve their goal. And so today I am in America, and when I look back at Lebanon, and I left Lebanon only 30-something years ago. You know, I came to the United States in 1989. Right. So when I watched how Lebanon has changed and deteriorated to now being a literally country run by terrorists, you know, people think, oh, Antifa, you know, could not run America. Look what they did in one summer.
You know
the summer of
you've
love.
seen it, yeah.
You have seen the explosion of Antifa like that. You have seen the change in our country in the last 4 years, 5 years. I mean, between 2016 and today, America has changed.
Right.
And we thought America was changing under Obama. But America was totally different than what it is now.
Right.
Even under Obama, at least we had peace. But today, America has completely transformed. When I look at Lebanon, Lebanon today is a terrorist country completely controlled by Hezbollah, a terrorist organization,
Right.
and funded by Iran. People right now are fighting at the grocery store over milk for their children. Now, if I would have told you 3 weeks ago that in America today, We're going to have new mothers fighting at the grocery stores looking for formula for baby food in the United States and not being able to find baby food in America on the shelves for their children. Look, my daughter just had a baby, so I've got actually 2 new grandbabies.
Wow.
And I cannot imagine my grandchild not being able to get milk formula for children, because in the United States today, we have no formula. They are rationing formula, baby food on the shelves in America. So when I warn about the loss of our freedom and the loss of our security, my past is America's future unless we wake up now. I'm watching the playback in slow motion of what happened in America, what happened in Lebanon, happened in America today, live as you and I are speaking. Right now, there's a mother somewhere in the United States walking up and down a grocery aisle looking for baby food for her child, and she's not going to find any because now grocery stores are unable to stock baby food on the shelf in America.
And that's amazing. Did you know that?
Isn't that amazing?
It's amazing what can happen when there is a vacuum of weakness, a vacuum, a lack of leadership. And what the world does, they want to fill that space if there's weakness in an area of leadership. And folks, hey, it goes without saying, we're in a situation here in America. Brigitte, where would you say we are in comparison to where you saw things begin to unravel in Lebanon? You know, if there was a scale from 1 to 10, I'm sure you can remember what it was like before.
Let me tell you, we are 1 minute to midnight. 1 minute to midnight in America. This is how I'm going to put it to you. There's no sugarcoating it. In the last year and a half since Biden took office, the whole country is spiraling out of control into destruction. Look at oil prices. I'm in Texas. We were exporting energy to the world. Now we are begging Saudi Arabia to produce more oil, and they turned us down, by the way. They told America, no, you go suck it. We're not doing that. Oh, yeah. They turned America down because they said we can no longer trust the United States. We are finding other partners because they trusted President Trump, but they don't trust Biden. And so they see how already Biden has betrayed Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, United Arab Emirates, Egypt, Israel. Remember how President Trump worked on the Abraham Accord, and they were all working together, prosperity, business, security, coordinating together to basically, keep Iran marginalized because Iran is an axis of terror. Iran is working also with China. So now with President Biden literally ignoring completely Israel and its allies and undermining the Abraham Accord that President Trump set up, they don't trust us. Why should they listen to us? So now we are begging the Russians while we're fighting a war in Ukraine to negotiate on our behalf with the Chinese. Look how fast the country has deteriorated in a year and a half. So when I say we are 1 minute to midnight, we are 1 minute to midnight. And we need every single patriot to wake up and become engaged. Wake up and become engaged. I created an organization called Act for America, actforamerica.org. And we named the organization, not think about America, wish for America, hope for America, or pray for America. You should think and hope and pray, but without action, nothing happens. We named the organization Act for America. So go to actforamerica.org, sign up to get our emails and action alerts. We're waking up the country. We are mobilizing people nationwide. We have over 1,000 chapters nationwide. And that's why I was here yesterday speaking. Our chapter leader did an amazing job launching the chapter in Midland.
She sure did.
Who's here in the audience. Thank you, Deanna. Thank you. So that's how it starts. One person just saying, I'm going to do something. I'm just not going to sit on the sidelines. So if you're interested in starting a chapter, in joining a chapter, in standing with us, at least sign up to get our emails and action alerts so we can notify you when there is a bill coming down for a vote, whether in Congress or in your state. I know we have many people watching us right now from all over the country, whether you're watching us on broadcast, whether you're watching us on cable, whether you're watching us on the internet, on your laptop, on your computer, on any of our platforms. Make sure you go to actforamerica.org and become a voice affecting your community and our nation today.
Last night I was very inspired. You said so many great things. You know, some people would say even overseas, you know, when I go overseas, they say, your media lies to you.
Yeah.
Nobody over here buys the election. We're just getting we're getting our popcorn and waiting for you guys to rise up and do something about it, to act on behalf of your own country. And isn't it just like God to bring you here and to start this incredible organization, largest grassroots political organization in America?
Yeah.
Folks, you got to go to that website.
Started in my bedroom. Started in my bedroom. Tenacity, where there is a will, there is a way.
Right.
All you need is a vision.
And was that sweet too?
That's right. Sweet 202. Go up the steps, first door on the right, guest bedroom. That's how I started it. But you know what? This is the American story, isn't it? In America, you can start anything, and it takes a lot of hard work, and it takes sticking with whatever you're doing.
Right.
But I'm so grateful for America and the blessings that America have bestowed upon me. Look, I could have never accomplished back in Lebanon what I accomplished in America. In America, you come here, it doesn't matter who your father is, it doesn't matter who your mother is, it doesn't matter how much money you have in the bank.
Right.
In America, if you are willing to work hard, devote yourself, be faithful, apply yourself, and set yourself apart from the rest, the sky is the limit. You can be anything you want to be.
That's our country, and I'm so glad that you have Act for America. Folks, watch this commercial right now. See what more Act for America is all about.
Hello, I'm Brigitte Gabriel. I'll cut straight to the point. Securing our election is the #1 priority this year. Without confidence in our elections, we don't have a country. And if we don't do everything we can to ensure the integrity of our elections, Republicans will never win again. Act for America is committed to leading the charge to secure America's election systems. Cheating in U.S. elections should be impossible, and transparency along with accountability must always come first. That's why ACT launched our Voter Integrity Pledge, and we are asking every patriot to sign the pledge. It's a 10-point plan to secure U.S. elections on the state and federal level, such as mandatory voter ID laws, ban same-day voter registration. Large counties and precincts must first report total vote counts before counting results. No last-minute changes to state election laws, just to name a few. I am asking you to sign our pledge today, which we will send to your local representatives and let them know you support Act for America's 10-point plan to secure U.S. elections, and they should also. We are working tirelessly to pass and push meaningful election laws guided by our 10 key issues. This is about preserving the integrity of our constitutional republic. Help us hold our elected officials accountable. We will do all the heavy lifting. We just need your patriotic commitment to stand up for our country and take our voter integrity pledge. Please share this with everyone you know and ask them to do the same. When everyone does a little, together we accomplish a lot. Join me and let's secure the vote. Thank you.
Now, Brigitte, in your show, you have call-ins, and we love that. People love it. It's good TV, too, but it's wonderful because there's a lot of times callers will have a question that a lot of you are asking yourselves. We have Leslie from Dallas, and welcome, Leslie from Dallas, Brigitte.
Welcome, Leslie.
Thank you so much, Brigitte, for taking my question.
Absolutely. You know, you already missed the story I had about Dallas, so I already like you, Leslie from Dallas. Go ahead with your question.
Okay. My question is, with all of the confusion that is going on right now in the world, and especially within our nation, how are we to know that our vote counts when we place our votes at the polls in November? And I guess more importantly, what can we do to ensure, you know, what are the steps that we can do to help that process and to ensure that that process is true?
Oh, great question, Leslie. Thank you so much for asking this question. I cannot tell you how many people ask me the exact same question when I travel and I speak. Because right now, so many people in our country are frustrated and they are afraid, and you don't blame them. I mean, after all, we know all the shenanigans that happened in the 2020 election. I mean, you're going to tell me a guy who half senile, who couldn't get people in a parking lot, more than 15 cars in a circle, remember?
Right.
You know, in a rally. He won the election and President Trump lost. So everybody knows, whether in America or overseas, unless, you know, you are with the enemy agenda against the United States, the election was stolen. Very simple. So the problem with that is that a lot of Americans find themselves asking, should I even go out and vote? Will my vote matter? Yes, you should go out and vote. We cannot give up on our democracy. And I can tell you that we at Act for America started working on passing bills to secure our election nationwide. And so far, we have passed so many election bills. I think we have passed already 18 stop foreign individual funding of election, private funding of election, to stop Zuckerbucks. Because, you know, Mark Zuckerberg is the one who funded all these drop ballot boxes around the country. That's how they were able to cheat and fraud and all that. And so what we did is we started sending action alerts through our organization. If you go to actforamerica.org, sign up to get our emails and action alerts. We send action alerts when there's a bill coming down for a vote in your community and in your state, which we did with Texas in particular. But we have helped pass 18 bills in 18 states to stop private funding like Zuckerberg Bucks to set up ballot boxes. And we did that by sending an action alert out to our members, those who receive our emails, saying there is a bill coming down in your state, whatever it is, SB 555, let's say. I'm just giving an example. And this bill says that people like Zuckerbucks cannot fund elections or drop boxes or any shenanigans in your state. We want to help pass that bill. And we would give people the name of the sponsoring senator, state senator, or delegate, and we would give people the name of the bill. We say, this bill's coming down for a vote. You need to call your representative. And we give them a list of all their representatives. And it says, do you want to email them? Confirm. You click confirm, and email is sent to them. You don't even have to worry about it. We already have the email pre-written for you. All you have to do is click. The email is sent. Send the petition to your elected official. Click. The petition is sent. We have everything so prepared for you, down to social media posts. If you have Facebook, we already have a Facebook prepared for that bill, that when you share it on your social media, you can tag your elected officials so they can no longer ignore your voice. That's how we were able to pass all these bills that we passed. And so, yes, there is hope. I want you to know that right now, as I'm speaking to you, Act for America is working on over 100 election integrity bills across America in different states, different bills to make sure we secure our election. Passing voter ID. You need to have an ID to be able to vote. We sent this action alert this week, actually today. So we want to make sure you are signed up, you or anybody else watching. Make sure you go to actforamerica.org, sign up to get our action alert, click on Take Action, and you will see the act now. You can take action on so many things. So yes, we can take back our country. We can secure our election. It's not going to be a miracle. We're not going to do it all in the next 6 months. But we have a long road ahead of us, but at least we are starting. So yes, we need people engaged.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'll be going for those act alerts.
There is hope. We're not going to give up on America. Anybody that doesn't take action is giving up on America. We as Christians need to pray. I am on a Christian station. I know a lot of people are watching me on non-Christian stations as well. But I'm speaking now to the Christians who are watching me. Wherever you happen to be watching me, we can pray. It's important to pray. But prayer without work is dead. Prayer must be coupled with action. God uses his people as instruments of change. We are the instrument. God is not going to change the world through lightning in the sky. Go out, pray for our country when you wake up in the morning. But get up, get dressed, and go out, mobilize your community, Start a chapter, join a chapter, volunteer, become a poll worker. We will train you. Go to our website, actforamerica.org, and we'll be able to help you any way you want. Become engaged. We just want every single person engaged.
All right.
Wonderful.
Leslie,
Wonderful.
thank you so much, and I can't wait for you to set Dallas on fire for
Yes,
America.
yes. We want chapters in Dallas. We want chapters anywhere in Texas.
Thank you again.
Thank
Well,
you.
thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And she's just saying what people are thinking.
Yeah.
You know, a
Yeah.
lot of you are watching right now. You don't know what to do. You're seeing the chaos.
Right.
You're seeing one side getting away with what
Right.
seems like murder.
Right.
There doesn't ever seem to be consequences for the left. You know, but boy, if you want to say the Pledge of Allegiance, if you want to pray in the school, if you want to make a stand, if you want to do anything that's patriotic, you're labeled a terrorist. Well, guess what, folks? The minority that's the loudest right now is not the majority of Americans. And it's time that we come together.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
already involved in Act for America, and I want to do something
I
even more
love
now.
it.
You know?
And can I share a tip with our audience?
course
A lot of
you
people
can.
say, you know, why should I call my elected official? They're not going to listen to me. I'm only one voice, Brigitte. My voice is not going to do anything.
Right.
They need to hear from 40 to 50,000 people. You know, a lot of people think that way. And wrong. You will be shocked of how easy it is and how elected officials think. So on the congressional level, your senators and your congressmen, I talk to them all the time. They need to hear from 40 to 50 people to make an issue their top priority. Whatever issue you're calling about, most people are stunned. 40 to 50 people, here is the science behind the numbers. That's why 40 to 50 people are so important. And listen to why. They believe if one person makes a phone call, writes an email, signs a petition, or sends a letter, he or she are representing 1,000 couch potatoes who feel the same way but are too lazy to make a phone call or write an email, yet they vote on election day. That translates to 40 to 50,000 voters on election day.
Right.
That can make or break an election. Know your power, and that's what we do with Act for America. We educate you on how you can be effective. We teach you why you need to call, for example, your Democratic elected officials as well as the Republicans. Most people on our side say, you know, yeah, I call my elected official. Maybe once. Okay, I called Senator so-and-so. He's a Republican. I know where he stands. I don't need to bother calling him. But our side never bothers to call the Democrats. And it's wrong because the Democrats are bombarding our people with phone calls. The reason why we need to call the Democratic elected official, again, remember the rule of 40 to 50 people, 50 phone calls, and what they believe, is because a lot of them need to be able to go to leadership, especially the smaller ones, the newly elected ones or not the powerful ones. They need to be able to go to Nancy Pelosi and Schumer and say, look, I'm going to lose my election next November if I vote with you on this. And that's why I have to abstain. Or that's why I have to sit this one aside. Or that's why, you know, I cannot vote on it. Or not show up for the vote. So this is how you are helping. So don't give up on the Democrats. You need to call the Democrats so you can give cover to people who need to build the courage to go to their leadership and say, I'm going to lose my election. Now, you don't want that, do you? That's why I have to not vote on this bill.
Wow.
Just speak up. It's those little tips that most people do not even know.
No, they don't. They don't. I mean, their perception is, well, I guess my voice will be heard maybe on election day.
No, there are so many things that happen between election. So many things.
Wow.
Training, for example, we train people how to be election workers, not watchers. A lot of Republicans say, oh, I'm volunteering, I'm going to be an election watcher. Election watcher is like a traffic cop. You're standing there directing traffic. Oh, yes, stand here. Here's how you vote. Here's your sticker. That's what they do. Election workers are paid jobs. These are paid. You actually get paid to be a poll worker. You know, you can sign up. They give you some, you know, like training.
Right.
You can get paid for it. And the election workers tell the election watchers, at the end of the day, the poll watchers, okay, the polls closed at 7 o'clock, now you go home. And then they can stay inside and do whatever they want to do.
Wow.
Those are the ones who pull the suitcases from under the tables after all the polls have closed and play with the ballots.
You know, Brigitte, a lot of people who are watching, they may not be churchgoers, but they're people of faith. They love God.
Right.
They love America.
Right.
A lot of people don't realize our Constitution was based on sermon notes of the black robes. Did you know that? King George called these preachers who were preaching 20 years before the American Revolution, no king but Christ and freedom. Did you know that?
Yeah.
So those of you who even you teachers, some of you have been encouraged to tell the kids that there's no biblical foundation in this document, in the Constitution. That is wrong. As a matter of fact, John Adams wanted to be a preacher. He tried it out for his dad, and his dad said, you need to be a politician, and he was. Did you know that? And John Hancock as well. They gathered together these sermon notes based on the Bible to establish our Constitution. Well, that same Bible says not to be ignorant of the enemy's schemes.
Yeah.
And yet, so many are ignorant
of
the enemy's schemes. Last night, you talked about the fact that the largest organization of its kind for that side had been working in the shadows this whole time, but you don't see them on a conference headliner. Right. You don't see them in the media, but they're pretty stealth. You know, folks, it's not a party. It's a person, any person that takes on the characteristics of he who came to steal, kill, and destroy, to destroy the family, to destroy the country, to destroy marriage, to target our children, folks. There's a side that's been hijacked. No matter how your mom or your grandmama voted, these aren't the Dems of the JFK days, folks. This is a different day. And you know what? Both sides have issues, I know. But Brigitte, would you enlighten people on these tactics that most people have no idea about?
I have no idea. And you know what? One thing I want to touch on, because you mentioned something important. Some people who are watching us right now who are Christians, they don't go to church. They're not churchgoers. You know, the majority of the country are people who love God and our country. Right. You know, you don't have to be a Bible thumper, holy roller, play in tongue, go, whatever, Southern Baptist, whatever title we put on what a Christian's supposed to be. Right. You know, there are a lot of Christians, God-fearing people, but they don't go to church, who are watching us right now. Right. You know, what you're watching right now is the deterioration of the country before your very eyes. Don't you have children? Don't you have grandchildren? Don't you have nephews? Don't you have nieces, even if you don't have children of your own? Is this the America you want to pass on to them? Remember when you were younger and you used to be able to play on the street and ride your bike and just ride down to your neighbor's house down the block? Do you think any child right now in America can do that? Everybody is afraid because of human trafficking. Do you want to live in a country where human traffickers can steal your child, or any child, whether you have children or not? Steal that child for sex trafficking? Is this the country we want to live in? So whether you are a Bible-believing, go to church or not, if you are a good American who believes in American values, the values of respecting your elderly, the values of doing unto others what you want others to do unto you, treating your neighbor the way you want to be treated, law, respecting law and order. If you are a woman watching me right now, even if you are not believing, a Christ-believing woman, don't you want to be able to go to the movies at 9 p.m. in the evening and be able to come home at 11 without being worried that somebody's going to knock you, hit you, rape you? Where actually you can even call the police if, God forbid, something like this, somebody showed up and the police will be there in a second? We don't have that in America right now. So we are now talking to Americans who love this country, and nobody's happy with the situation right now. No. Nobody wants lawlessness, whether you're a Christian or not. Nobody wants lawlessness. Right. We want our children to be safe. We want our communities to be safe. We want our elderlies to be able to go somewhere without some thug knocking them off their wheelchair on the sidewalk and killing them just for entertainment. Right. This is not the society we want to live in. Antifa thugs destroying our country, destroying our businesses, stealing Walgreens shops, our clothing in leftist major cities in America because thieves are walking in, stealing products and walking away, which means the price of products is going to rise for people like me and you because of thugs stealing. Right. That's not the country we want to live in. No. So we're not just talking to Christians. We're talking to anybody watching this program right now. If you are The type of American I'm talking about, I'm speaking to you. This is not a Christian message. This is an American message, an American value message. And if you are a Christian, you have a duty, you have a responsibility, twice as much as twice as hard, because to whom much is given, much is required. As a Christian, you are given strength, you are given the truth, you are given the word, you are given authority to stand on the word and fight against evil and for the truth, and you have twice as much work to do because you are given so much, and it is your responsibility to stand up.
And you have a formula to do that.
That's right.
I mean, most people are frustrated. They don't know what to do. Now you know what to do. You can go to
Right.
actforamerica.org. It's laid out, folks. I mean, it can't get easier than that. So glad that you're doing that. You know that there's a quote by Winston Churchill, an old quote, and it said that dictators ride upon the backs of tigers they dare not dismount, and the tigers are getting hungry.
Yeah.
There's a restlessness in our country, folks.
Right.
There's an anger that's building. Some
Right.
wonder why is such deliberate attacks
Yeah.
against our children? So many things coming to light.
Right.
And even darkness is even devouring each other,
Yeah.
you know? And
Yeah.
so with this restlessness, is the goal to create the civil war that they so badly want to happen, to bring in the UN?
Yeah.
I mean, you know that there's compromising going on. You know a lot of leaders have been compromised.
Right.
And what we are seeing, the activities of this man who doesn't seem to even know what day it is.
Yeah.
Okay, he's not in charge.
Yeah.
Some would say we're in the third term of Obama.
Yeah.
I personally believe that.
Yeah.
But folks, it's time to become wise of the enemy's schemes.
Yes.
Not only in the spiritual realm,
Yeah.
but also in the physical realm, you know?
Right.
And it's important to pray. But have you noticed in the Bible, Brigitte, that even Joshua, to take Jericho, he still had to march around the city.
Yeah.
He still had to take the city.
Yeah.
Right? How many times has God required action on our part?
Right.
We move and he moves. We
Right.
move and he moves. Some people, you dwell in the heavenly courts, and I respect that. Do you know what, folks? If we
Yeah.
spend all of our time in the heavenly realms and nothing boots on the ground, we've lost the battle.
Right.
Just read the Bible. It's a combination of both. It's like you said at the very beginning, that the prayer without action,
It's dead.
it's dead. What is it worth?
Yeah.
So with this
And look,
rumbling.
when Jesus saw evil in the temple, he walked into that temple. He overthrew the tables.
He made a whip.
He was the first activist. Jesus set the standard of activism,
He
of how
sure
we
did.
should be active. And by the way, this is a very important point here. I'm talking about wisdom.
Right.
You know, and I'm going to be here. I want the Christians to hear me out. Be as kind as dove and as wise as serpents. See, we Christians are kind, but we have to be wise in the way we do things. And I said that because I want to set it up with something, because I'm going to talk about killing children after birth. I'm not talking about the abortion issue. I'm not going to get into that. I know we have all sorts of people are watching right now. But I'm going to talk about murder 7 days after a child is born. Murder, somebody murdering a child. Is this the type of country you want to live in? Whether you are a Christian or not, do you want to murder children 7 days old? It doesn't matter where you stand on issues. You know, you are maybe anti-capital punishment. What about anti-murder of children? And so this is what I'm talking about, deterioration of our country. And this is what I'm talking about, people needing to stand up. Can you imagine, this is the law in California, by the way, that they introduced right now, that they're trying to shove, that you can murder a baby 7 days after birth.
Do they already pass that?
No,
Okay.
no, we're fighting that tooth and nail.
We've been distracted with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, folks.
We are
Right.
fighting that tooth and nail, but what I want to point out is everybody needs to be engaged. Whether you're watching us right now on the internet, sitting in Connecticut, whether you're sitting in Florida, whether you're sitting in Montana, or whether you're sitting in California. Can you imagine? It is your duty to act. Can you imagine if you are living in Connecticut and Connecticut passes a law that you can kill children up to 1 month old? Is that the type of country you want to live in? Forget California, you know, that it's only, oh, that's in California, it does not affect me, it doesn't matter. The question becomes, is this the type of country
Right.
we want to live in, where people have no value, babies who are 7 days old, after birth? I'm not even negotiating the intricate of the abortion issue. I'm just talking about a human being born 7 days after birth. That's murder. This is not the type of society we
No.
want to live in.
No.
We're not a third world country. run by dictators and thugs where they don't value anything. They kill their own people. We are not that type of country. And that's not where the road we want to go down. And that's why everybody needs to be engaged.
It's not. And if it can't start with God's people, where's it going to start?
Exactly.
You know, there's only one God in the Old Testament that God called detestable, and that was Moloch. Children that were already born being offered to the god Moloch. And he destroyed nations for such a thing.
Yeah.
So we've got to make a stand, folks.
Yeah.
And I've said this before, brothers. Those of you who are commissioned with preaching the gospel, folks, if you go the way of Balaam, you'll have a Balaam's reward.
Yeah.
But you have to put him first and speak the truth, because there is a penalty for the watchmen on the wall who do not sound the alarm. And there's a lot of silence going on right now.
Yeah.
We've really got to stand up on the spiritual realm against the worship of Moloch. Born babies sacrificed to Moloch. Folks, come on. I'm amazed every day I'm still here in America. But we're still here, which tells me, Brigitte, just as we know there are no such things as coincidences, no chance meetings. David said to God, my days were written in your book before I was born. We're walking that. You're living out your destiny. And I'm so glad that you are. You know, Brigitte, I hear from people from Australia who are saying, why didn't we stand up? Now we don't have our freedoms.
Yeah.
Why didn't we stand up? Why were we so distracted with this when we should have been looking and opening our eyes? The same tactics that have been used in communist China and that were used in the Soviet Union, the same tactics have been used by an organization you referred to just last night, and most people don't even know about it.
That's right. Indivisible. So right now, Indivisible is the leftist grassroots machine on the ground. Our side doesn't even know or have never heard about it. Even though they go to conferences, they listen to speakers, they spend money going to conferences. Oh my God, we had a great time. That's a party. That's entertainment. Conferences are political entertainment shows. Political concerts are what I call them. Most people have never even heard of Indivisible. Indivisible.org has over 6,000 chapters nationwide. They don't hold conferences. They are worker bees in their community. And look, I'm in Texas. Remember when Ted Cruz was fighting for his political life this last election? Who would have thought that in Texas, Ted Cruz will be fighting for his political life because of what? Beto O'Rourke, all of a sudden, signs everywhere in people's neighborhoods popped up. Ted Cruz was not prepared. They didn't have their grassroots operation in place. But that should not happen, and that should not happen not only not in Texas, but nowhere in the United States, and that's why we are mobilizing people.
Right. And
we make it so easy, by the way. You know, a lot of people think, I don't know if I have the time, Brigitte. I'm so busy. I work 2 jobs. I'm tired by the time I get home at night. I drop the kids. I pick up the kids. I make dinner, whatever. Look, we send an email once a week through Act for America called Act Now. 3 things you can do under 10 minutes, and you can do them sitting in your pajamas, sipping your cup of coffee. With 1 click, everybody can do that. Act now. Here's this bill coming down for a vote. Make sure you contact your elected official. Take action. You click take action. It takes you to the images of these elected officials. Are they your elected officials? Confirm. Click yes. Do you want to email them? Click yes. Here's the email. Confirm. Click yes. Here's the petition. Click yes. We literally make it so easy. People don't have to think. You don't have to write an email. You don't have to write a petition. Even to call them, we give you their phone number, and we literally have a script for you, a phone script, that you can pick up the phone and say, hi, Brent, my representative, I'm your constituent. My name is Brigitte Gabriel. I want to talk to you about this bill, HB HR 422. I am against it. I want to make sure you don't vote for it. This goes against everything I believe. And if you do vote for it, I'm not going to elect you next time. So I respectfully ask you to get back with me. That's it.
Wow.
And you hang up. And you cannot believe the calls that I get from elected officials responding to my calls.
You know, Brigitte, some would say that you always have time to do what you really want to do.
What you really want to do.
Folks, if you love your freedom,
right.
If you really, really love your freedom, you've got to act. You've got to get involved. And when it's so easy, oh my goodness, I'd rather act now than tell my children or grandchildren in a situation where there's no freedom. I could have done something, but I was too busy. I was too busy focusing on things that didn't last. I tell you what, a legacy of freedom, now that's something to focus on.
Yeah.
That's something that will last for the sake of your children and your children's children. There's no other place like the United States.
Nothing.
Nowhere in the world like the
And
US.
you know what? I have a saying on my website. If you go to my website, it says, you don't really own freedom. You only preserve it for the next generation.
Wow.
We only preserve it for the next generation. So right now, it's our duty to fight for this freedom. Because not only America depends on it, the whole world depends on a strong America.
Yes.
Because if there is no strong America in the world, kept all the bad actors in check. When you remove strong America from the world, now you are seeing communist China become a terror. Well, they're already, Communist Party, obviously. Look what they're doing in Shanghai. What, 28 million people under lockdown?
Lockdown, starving. Some people are jumping from buildings.
28
You don't see it on the news, do you?
million people. You don't see it on the news. And now, by the way, we got word that they're starting it in Beijing as well. You don't hear about it. Iran developing nuclear weapons. All the bad actors, Russia invading Ukraine. So when you look, when America is not strong and when America is not safe, no one is safe around the world. So we need to do it not only for our stability, but for the stability of the world so our children can travel the world and go to Europe and go to China and visit Australia and enjoy the world the way we were able to enjoy the world, even though I didn't travel to all these places, but at least we had the opportunity to go someplace where we wanted to go. Now we are losing all these freedoms and we need to fight tooth and nail to protect our country.
You know, I'm sitting here and I'm go to actforamerica.org just for my phone. And the phone experience is great, folks.
Yeah.
I mean, you go there and you can sign in and you can get the alerts. You can be informed. You know, there's a saying, there's three kinds of people. People who watch things happen, people who make things happen, and people who say, what just happened?
That's right.
And guess what? I make things happen.
That's right.
Every day, you make things
We
happen.
make things happen.
You can make things happen too, folks.
That's right.
Even from your phone.
That's
you can
right.
go to actforamerica.org. It's a very easy website. It's a good experience, and you can get educated. You can educate, engage, and mobilize from this website as well. Also go to BrigitteGabriel.com.
That's right.
To
They can
learn
do
how
that
to
as
live
well.
passionately. I mean, get the best of both
That's
worlds.
right.
How to fight for your freedom,
That's
how to
right.
maintain your freedom,
That's
and then
right.
how to live even a better life
Live
under that
passionately.
freedom.
I love passion. I love passion. And
You
the
are
Bible,
passion.
The Bible talks
You're the
about
personification of passion.
Yeah, you know what? The Bible talks about passion.
Yeah.
Do not be lukewarm, I'll spit you out.
Right.
You know, you either be hot or cold. Because even God didn't like people who are mediocre. Mediocre people don't accomplish anything.
Right.
You have to be on fire for what you believe. And that's how you make things happen. And that's why I was able to build an organization in Act for America from starting it in my guest bedroom to 1.7 million members today. Fighting. We have helped pass over 130 bills on the federal level and the state level to protect America. But I didn't do it alone. I had people like you. I had people like Deanna sitting here in the audience, our chapter leader in Midland, whom that's why I'm here and that's how we got doing all this stuff. So we need you. Start a chapter, join a chapter, sign up to get our emails and action alerts, become involved, and extend with us financially if you are able. If you don't have time to donate your time or your effort, at least give financially so we can do the work that needs to be done.
Right.
Everybody can be a soldier in this fight in one way or another. Everybody.
And we have to be.
And we have to be.
Because we'll either be a victim or a victor.
Right. Or a victor.
Literally.
And I'm planning on us being victorious over our enemies. And we need everybody working together and coming together. And I would be so grateful for your engagement, involvement, patriotism, financial support, any way you can be involved. We need you, and I would be so grateful for your involvement.
You know, most people don't know the tactics that you mentioned earlier, Zuckerbuck and all that. A lot of people don't know that.
Millions. Mark Zuckerberg swung the election. He poured over $400 million into the election. That's what swung the election. drop ballot boxes, these drop ballot boxes. I don't know how many people have watched the movie 2000 Mule that Dinesh D'Souza just released. And I highly recommend it. If you have not watched it yet, you need to watch that movie. So Mark Zuckerberg is the one who funded all these. They covered it in we're donating for COVID. 1% went to COVID, and the rest went to leftist organizations to fund this whole election fraud that we just witnessed. And we are fighting against that. So the thing about the left puts their money where their mouth is. They walk their talk. Our people complain and whine and complain and complain, but they don't invest in what they believe. And that's the problem. And so the left is so passionate and so driven, and they are funding it in every way. Plus all the money on the left, look, they've got Silicon Valley, they've got Hollywood, they've got the media, they've got Soros. I mean, they've got all these tech people. I mean, they have money going out of their ears, and they are giving it left and right. So, we may not have a Soros on the right, but America has us. And my philosophy, our philosophy at Act for America is, when everyone does a little, together we can accomplish a lot. It doesn't take many to change the world. It only takes a dedicated few. 2% of the passionate will always overrule the 98% indifferent.
Say that again, because I was hoping you'd get to that quote.
2% of the passionate will always overrule the 98% indifferent. And that's where we get the phrase, squeaky wheel gets the oil.
Well,
people who squeak get what they want.
And so, you know what? The loud minority doesn't have to be the loud minority.
Yeah.
What if we were a loud majority?
That's right.
The enemy is not divided. They may devour each other. I mean, I'm amazed that we're seeing these things come to light with Disney from the same media that doesn't show you what's happening in China, in the concentration camps. You watch Bob Fu on this network. There's a truth that's not being shared, and there's the saying, perception's reality. There's a lot of smoke and mirrors. Look over here, Johnny Depp. Oh, there's an election coming.
That's right.
Doesn't seem to be any hope for the left. Oh, there's a leak about the Supreme Court. Folks, come on. You got to stop the world. You've got to open your eyes, and you got to determine to take some action. And it starts with one step. And in this context, go to a website. You go to websites all the time. Almost 10 years ago, there was a study done that 60% of Americans were most anxious when they were not on their phones. And guess what they were on most of the time? Facebook. So we can get angry, and we can post the memes, and we can share the memes, and that assigned to us blue-haired Nazi can censor us, and they're fact checkers and all that. But folks, we got to do more than post memes.
Yeah.
We have to do more than go, and conferences are great. We got to do more than that as well.
Yeah.
Let those be gathering grounds to actually take action. There's another saying, Brigitte, if you sow a thought, you reap an action. You sow an action, you reap a habit. You sow a habit, you reap a character.
I love
you sow
that.
a character, you reap a destiny.
I love
for
that.
positive or for negative. But here you
That's
are.
right.
And I'll say it again. I mean, I love all you brothers and sisters I get to interview. You've been seeing the celebrities, the movie stars and rock stars and people who love Jesus and all these things. And all of the people that I've known, all the people I've interviewed, I've never seen the level of passion and the level of skill in speaking as I've seen in you, Brigitte. And that was very evident. Godmother, we call her Godmother, Kathy Rhodes. She's a make it happen woman. She helped finalize that deal. It wasn't for her, and it all came. Never more standing ovations at the summit, this last summit, than when you spoke, the last one that I was at. And Brigitte, that passion. You're the same person in public as you are in private. You are passionate, but you love this country. You really love this country.
I love this country, and I love people,
Yeah.
which is the perfect combination to be the head of a grassroots organization.
Right.
Because I get to travel, I get to meet people all over the country whom I love, because there's nothing more wonderful than meeting patriots who love America, who are on fire for America no matter where I go.
Yeah.
Whether I'm speaking in Texas, whether I'm speaking in Florida, whether I'm speaking in Wyoming, Montana, North Carolina, South Carolina, no matter where I am speaking in the country, all the great patriots that I meet and the friendships and the relationships that I develop that are so wonderful. It's wonderful, and I treasure that. And I love that. And believe me, you get involved with Act for America and our people, we are all happy. We're happy. You know, we're not like the left. Have you noticed how the left is always angry?
Oh, yeah.
They're always shouting. They're always angry. They're always upset. No, I mean, you know, we're fighting for our country, but we're happy people. We love our country. We start our meetings with the national anthem. You know, it's just great. It is. There is energy when a lot of good people come together. You'll meet the best friends you ever had. It's great.
Well, and there's good leadership too. There's good leadership too.
Thank you.
You know, there's
as the top goes, as goes the bottom.
There you go.
You know,
like people, like priests, right? You've heard that before too. But you know, there's the title of leadership, and then there's the gift of leadership. I've known a lot of people with the title. They don't have the gift, but you have the gift of leadership, and the people that you have in your leadership, very sharp, powerful people, and they believe in what they're doing to the point that they risk their life each and every day, folks. You know what? It's as easy as going to a website. I didn't even plan on talking this much about Act for America, but I'm glad that we did, because the time is urgent, folks. If you're watching this from GLC, or you're watching on the internet, one of the many avenues you can see us, as far as I know, this is the last must-carry, uncensored Christian TV network of its kind. And folks, it's worth saving. America is worth saving. She's worth saving, isn't she, Brigitte?
Yes, America is worth saving. And GLC is worth helping. And I want to make a special appeal for people who are watching us right now. If you are watching us right now and you are able, we need GLC on the air. It's a must-carry station. There are very few stations who are willing to speak the truth or host people who have the backbone to speak the truth. And we need to support these type of networks and keep them on the air. So if you are able, make sure you support this station, this broadcast, because we need it to stay on the air, and we need it stronger, and we need it in more markets. Right. And that's why I am so honored to be a part of the GLC family.
You know, Act for America, and thank you, by the way. I'm a happy volunteer. I don't need your money. I don't want your money, okay? But it takes money to broadcast the 5 TV towers, 5 cities, and beyond. And of course, the major cable networks, Roku, Amazon Prime, Apple TV, Facebook, YouTube, and the list goes on. It's good soil, but so is Act for America.
Thank you.
Act for America is good soil. Find out what people are doing for the Lord. Find out what God is doing and get behind it. And I know I'm behind you.
Thank you.
And we love you folks. And we love you, Brigitte.
Thank you.
And Act for America.
Thank you so much for having me with
Always.
you.
Until
Such
next time.
a pleasure.
And God bless
Thank
you.
you.
And we'll see you next time. Light of the Southwest. We'll see you next time.